So today I wanted to take a moment to talk to you guys about a few things related to Nvidia's RTX 3000 series GPUs and their launch, because there seems to be a lot of misconception about it, which kind of resulted in a very large number of very disappointed, very angry, and even quite rude comments about pretty much any reviewer having any of these cards. And I know that most of you have been nothing but super friendly and very supportive, but I still thought it would be very interesting to take some time today to explain how a big GPU launch like this one really works from a content creator's perspective. How is it possible for someone like me to get all these review samples? What happens to all these cards afterwards? And why I think it's still very important that we do continue to test and review all these new products, even if you're struggling to buy one right now. But first, this video is brought to you by Seasonic, and they wanted me to tell you that they also would like Nvidia to just hurry up and make more graphics cards so they can sell more of these excellent Prime series power supplies that I actually personally use for most of my testing and most of my builds around here. They have excellent quality, they are whisper quiet, and they include a cozy 12-year-long warranty. Check them out using the links in the description below. Alright, so I don't really know how things work with huge international giants, or even other channels for that matter, but this is how things work for me, being a fairly small YouTube channel located in the Netherlands. Let's start with the question of how I managed to get the GPU samples before the launch in the first place, while there are clearly channels that have way more subscribers that, don't have as many cards or any at all. Now, first of all, while I've been doing this YouTube thing for about 2 years now, my husband and I also run our own website reviewing components for more than 7 years now, actually. It is in Dutch though, so most of you will probably have a very rough time making any sense of it. Now, next to that, we also produce a lot of reviews for other websites, and we actually do a lot of content for various local magazines as well. Now, because of that wide history, I would say, I basically already had access to most components at launch, including GPUs, even before I started this YouTube channel. Another factor is definitely the region you're in. So while some people think that Nvidia is just throwing out all these cards globally, together with huge stacks of cash to make sure that the YouTubers are favoring their product, most media and most content creators will actually just be in contact with a small local office or a PR company instead. Now, since I'm based in the Netherlands, I'm in contact with an EU office of Nvidia and Dutch offices of board partners like Asus, MSI, and Gigabyte, all separately. So when it comes to these high-end GPUs, these smaller regional offices will only get like 1 or 2 cards for the whole region, if they get any at all, and they are still expected to get as many reviews out of them as possible, to use it themselves for internal presentations or to use it for various local events. And the trick here is, those cards never come from a retail pile. If they actually need more cards for an event, for example, they need to spend their own budget to literally buy the extra cards they need from a shop. So they have no access to retail stock, and that's how separated it all is actually. Now, from a reviewer's perspective, even if you're not the largest channel globally, if you're one of the largest ones in your region, you will have a very easy time to get your hands on these very rare samples very early. So for example, when it comes to all these 3080s, 3090s, and 3070s that are reviewed, I'm pretty sure these are basically the only samples in the region, or one of 2 or 3, and they are not here to stay. So while it seems like Nvidia is sending out all your cards that you want to buy to me, in reality, each of these brands is literally sending out their one sample they have, waiting for me to be done with it, and then sending it to other channels. And keep in mind, there are hundreds of cards going to stores every week, but there are thousands of people that want to buy them, so that is clearly not enough for everyone. But this one marketing sample for the whole region really makes absolutely no difference at all. That brings me to the question of what happens with these samples afterwards. And as I already said, regional offices really want to make sure that these cards rotate as quickly as possible. So some of the cards you've seen me review already went back, and others will be picked up soon, or the other way around. So some of the cards I've reviewed a bit after the launch were actually at other channels before, and then they came here. Now, it does happen that some cards return to stay after they've been around the block, But by then you don't really know where they've been, and you wonder if you even want to plug them into your system at all. So you'll probably see one or two return in the future, so I can actually continue to use them for various PC builds and for various videos. But the usual rule here would be, just because you get samples to test and review, it doesn't mean they're actually yours. Now, the only exception here is the Founders Edition, actually, as those are provided directly by Nvidia and can typically be used as a reference for future tests and future comparisons, which is very super important from a content creating perspective, but it also kind of means that it will be stuck to your test bench and you will rarely get to use it for your personal gaming rig, unfortunately. So, when you see a small channel like mine review an RTX card or several of them, chances are that they're only there for a very short period of time and that's it. We are not affecting the retail side in any way, and trust me, we would much rather want the supply to meet the demand and that all of you can finally buy the things that you want to buy. And that brings me to the last question of the day. Why do I continue to review them while most of you are struggling to buy any? Now, I know that the shortages are clearly not great, and I really do understand it's, very, very frustrating if you're looking to upgrade your GPU and you simply cannot. And there were obviously way too many bots out there just scalping the cards and then selling them for twice as much, if not more, which is even more frustrating. But I still do think it is very important to, make sure that there are as many reviews out there as possible. So, what will you be getting a few weeks from now when there is actual stock, or, when your pre-order finally goes through. So I would say information is just very important for any product out there, and getting your frustrations out on reviewers that have been working day in and day out to make as much content as possible to inform the public is actually not going to make your purchase any faster in any possible way. Also, these cards will still be relevant 2 years from now, so even if the information doesn't really apply to you today, it might in the future. Now, the $1 million question today is, how will AMD handle their launch and their stock later this month? Now, for me personally, with the whole world being in this weird situation right now, I think it would be wiser to just lower your expectations and do prepare for a realistic scenario with limited stocks as well, than to yet again end up disappointed a few weeks from now. I truly hope that this won't be the case, but it's always smarter not to get too hyped before you see the actual stock. Now, that is it from me today. I hope that this cleared things up a bit, and if you have any more questions about how things work right here, please let me know in the comments down below. Bye guys!